Meet my friend Eddie. He was sitting in a life insurance seminar for hours when the instructor looked at him and asked, "Define insurance." Eddie sank in his chair because he had no idea how to put it into words. So let's help Eddie out and start with the basics. Insurance can be summed up in just 2 words: spreading risk. Insurance takes the risks associated with many individuals, combines them, and then spreads the combined risk over the group. The idea of insurance is not new. It dates back as far as the 15th century. Consider the following example of a rudimentary form of insurance that may have taken place back then. 10 merchants needed to ship their inventory over treacherous seas where the risk of a ship sinking was a very real possibility. Each boat could hold 10 shipping containers. Therefore, if a merchant's ship sank, he would lose all of his containers. Merchant Arnold came up with an idea. Why don't we spread our containers over each other's boats? That way, if one ship sinks, the most anybody can lose is 1 container. All of the other merchants thought it was a great idea, and each tossed Arnold a few precious stones for making the arrangements. Kind of like a premium. Insurance today spreads the risk among people within the same risk class. Clearly, the risk of a 40-year-old man dying this year is very different from the risk of a 70-year-old woman dying this year, and therefore they would not be in the same risk class. When approving life insurance, many factors are considered, such as age, gender, personal family health history, smoking status, employment, etc. There are 2 ways to quantify the risk of death, and you could be asked this on the exam, so take note. They are, number 1, life expectancy. For example, perhaps another 20 years. And number 2, the probability of death in a given year. For example, perhaps 3 in 1,000. In this lesson, I'm going to summarize life insurance in 1 sentence, go over an example, and then begin to build on that knowledge by discussing the various types of insurance policies available in the marketplace. Life insurance can be summarized as follows. If the life insured dies from a covered cause, while the policy is in force, a tax-free benefit is payable to the beneficiary of the policy. If the term beneficiary is new to you, don't worry. It's just a fancy word for the person the policyholder selects to receive the eventual death benefit. Let's look at an example. Brett and Sarah are newly married with an infant daughter named Mandy. Brett earns $180,000 per year, which allows them to enjoy a pretty nice lifestyle. They work hard to pay off their student loans quickly, and as a result, they have no debt, but also have limited assets. Brett and Sarah have reached the decision that Sarah will stay home to care for Mandy full time. They worry, though, what would happen if Brett were to die unexpectedly and his income stops? Well, life insurance is the answer. They purchased a life insurance policy that upon Brett's death would pay a tax-free death benefit of $2 million. This lump sum of money could then be invested to replace Brett's income. There are 4 ways to deal with certain risks. Let's look at a non-life insurance example to help frame these strategies. Harold just used his entire life saving to purchase a brand new sports car. He bought the car because he loves speed, but he is concerned about the financial impact that could arise if he has a major accident in the car. Harold has 4 options in managing the risk. They are, number 1, risk avoidance. Harold could simply choose not to drive the car and leave it in his garage just for show. Number 2, risk reduction. Harold could reduce the risk by always respecting the posted speed limits and road signs. Number 3, risk retention. Harold could elect to retain the risk or self-insured. If he totals the car, he will no longer have the car and can take the bus. And number 4, risk transfer. Harold could transfer the risk to an insurance company by purchasing automobile insurance that covers collision. Risk transfer is also referred to as risk sharing. Obviously, most of this course will focus on ways to transfer risks to an insurance company.